Hello, everyone. It's time for another episode of Swarm Talk with your host here, Bryce Kuhn. We appreciate you watching over on YouTube. If you're watching on my Twitter page as well, we appreciate it as well. We're trying to change up the mojo. We went with just a straight Adidas little short sleeve pullover for Georgia Tech. We appreciate you watching. Let us know in the comments if you are tuning in. We got Scott again. Thank you again, guys, for the GT support with the talk show. Go Braves. Speaking of the Braves, this is going to be an abbreviated show. We moved the start time up a little bit this week because we know the Braves have an 8:09 first pitch tonight. So we want you to be able to settle in, to get your favorite snack, get your favorite cold beverage, and tune in to that game. We want you to have all the time possible. But we do need to talk about what happened this past Saturday up in Charlottesville, Virginia. Not a pretty sight. If you're over on Twitter and you want to join the show, you want to be a part of the show like my man Scott down here below, what I need you to do is I need you to hop over to YouTube page. Follow at the Hive GT. It's over there. You can go on my profile. We have the Credit with YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button. We're almost to 200 subscribers. We're continuing to grow that as well. When you hit 200, one lucky winner, or I guess the 200 subscriber, you got to make it public. We'll get $2. Matt Brook as well. We appreciate you, Matt. We're going to be talking a little bit about an opportunity, an event at the end of the regular season that I'm excited to talk about with you guys. I threw it in a chat over on Twitter. Shout out to those Twitter pages as well. But we're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe wherever you may be watching. Well, let's dive in a little bit here. We're going to go through a little bit of a film study, we'll say. We've picked out a couple key plays from last Saturday that I think just kind of embody where this program is right now. Offense played well, in my opinion. There were some opportunities that were missed, but they still put up 40 points. Anytime you put up 40 points, you got to feel good about that. I think Geoff Sims overcame what is one of the worst throwing decisions I think he's made all season. And I know he missed some time as well, but it was a bad throw. He overcame that, and Georgia Tech had a chance to win at the end. Out of everything that happened, Georgia Tech still had a chance to win. We're going to take a look at that game. We're also going to talk about, with that, what is going on with the defense? I know a lot of you guys watched the press conference today with Andrew Thacker and Jeff Collins, maybe potentially some of the animosity that might be in that group right there. Scott, we're going to get to your question as well, but I think this is so important because I'm telling you, at the end of the season, I'm going to tell you why I think there's going to be a scapegoat. He might not be the problem, really, but someone's going to be taking the blame at the end of the season. There might be some rearranging going on the staff as well. We're also going to talk about looking ahead to Virginia Tech. I'm not going to go too much into that because I know I will be actually posting a preview here on this page with a special guest that knows a lot about the Georgia Tech football program. We're going to be previewing the Virginia Tech game this weekend. That is a big one, the first time back in, I guess it's the first time back in Bobby Dodd for quite some time. But let's go over to this film study right now. We're going to pull up this first play. I got my man Ralph over here. So Ralph's going to pull this up, and I kind of want to just dive into this. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to get your questions. We're going to have a Q&A portion as well. But let's get this right here. So we have this first play right here. Now, this is obviously a quarterback for Virginia. And Brennan Armstrong, listen, he's very, very talented. There's no doubt about it what he can do with the football right there. I'm going to do this one because they can still see me. But, Ralph, go ahead and hit that play button. So we're going to roll this one right here. I want you to watch this. Now, pause it real quick. So when you see this pause, Georgia Tech runs a 3-3-5, okay? Over and over again, we have seen Georgia Tech get beat by the run because of this. And it begged the question of, well, we're going to run multiple. We're going to do these different things. And yes, North Carolina worked. It was utter domination. It was the peak performance up to this point for the Georgia Tech defense under a Geoff Collins stead. So, Ralph, hit the play button again, and I want to show you. So this is a simple read option. Now, Ralph, can you actually go back, hit that little back button real quick for me? Right here, 3-3-5. Ralph and I were talking about this, and I love Matt Brooks' comment down there. We're going to get that in a second. In a read option, the everyone has to know who they have. There's got to be a guy on the pitch man in any type of option play. There has to also be a man who has the quarterback. Now, listen, they're going to block one guy, but they're reading one guy. So, Ralph, hit play again. I want you to watch this. Now, Brennan Armstrong, he's going to fake it. We see Jared Ivey come down. Jared Ivey, pause right there. He does his job. Fantastic job. He knows that he has the guy who, the tailback. He knows that that's going to happen. So, you see right there, my man Ralph's circling it right there. Ralph, we need to get you a little laser. That's what we need to get. We need to get a little laser or a little highlighter thing. So, Jared Ivey does a great job. Now, Brennan Armstrong, seeing Jared Ivey coming down, is going to pull it out of the stomach of the tailback. Now, Ralph, keep playing right here. And watch this. Charlie Thomas is blocked to the edge. Nobody, and I mean nobody. And listen, all of these guys are high character guys. But Wanye Thomas down at the bottom of your screen is no, it's fine. It's fine. So I want you to, Ralph, to stop it once Armstrong takes it himself. Watch Wanye Thomas. Now, he is focused on the guy who's come in motion, and for obvious reasons. But never one time does he look and see what's going on. Never one time. Ralph, hit the play button. Armstrong takes it out. Now, Armstrong sees daylight. He's able to get past Charlie Thomas, who fights off his block, and that's a good play, but it's one-on-one. He's not in a good position. Armstrong cuts it back upfield. Now, Thomas, in this situation, did what he should do. Funnel it back to the inside. Wanye Thomas, now I know there's a lot of Thomases, Wanye Thomas is focused on the receiver. At this point, everyone on the field, except for Wanye Thomas, knows that this is a run play. Keep playing. Armstrong evades the one tackler, does not touch. Horrible job of tackling. Nobody touches him until 30 yards down the field. So that's really interesting. That's that first clip. Where Ralph's going to pull up some more, but we talk about the 3-3-5 and what this does. It's not working. It's not working. And as Ralph pulls it up, Ralph, I'll take care of the comments when we get there. Matt, 3-3-5 shouldn't even be in our vocabulary. David, we need to stop with this 3-3-5D. Yes. Now, Scott says the 3-3-5 is okay when it's third and long, but not all game long. I'm going to show you, Scott, why I agree with you, but also I have a tad bit of an issue with sometimes how it's utilized, and that's the best way to put it. All right, so now we're going to the next clip here. Now, this is the 9:13 mark. Now, we're kind of going through some of the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are just a few clips. You guys let me know as well. So now we're going to bring it back here. Now, this is offensively. So Jeff Sims and the offense is moving the football. This is early on in the game. Now, Ralph, go ahead and hit the play button. I want this play to play through, Ralph, and then when the broadcast goes to the replay where it shows the full 22 view, let's stop right there. Now, this is the interception. Okay, so the interception happens, run out of bounds, kind of a drive killer. Okay, let's take a deeper look at this. So Sims comes off the field, very upset about this, frustrated with this play right here. Virginia's hyped up for obvious reasons. They just got a big stop. Now, pause it right here. Okay, so at first glance, what does this look like? It looks like a single high safety. But what you don't see is the man that is guarding the slot receiver, who Sims is going to play him the whole way, man coverage. Now watch the deep safety right here. Let's play this again real quick. The deep safety, he's almost playing like a center fielder back there, just watching. It's man to one side, and it kind of felt like zone to the other. Jeff Sims never saw him in that aspect. What'd you say? He bobbles the ball. Oh, and bobbles the ball in his hands. So go back, Ralph, with that. Look, I want to show this again. So you see Sims throws it. The guy almost didn't catch it. Now that was something too. You can see right here, he almost didn't catch it. But guys, we've got to get to a point where Jeff Sims is the quarterback for this team. What I'm excited about, what you can be excited, is that he overcame this early game mistake. I want to take that one off the board as well. Now, Ralph is going to bring up some more here. We're going to skip a little bit later in the football game. But listen, that interception right there, That's, to me, a quarterback maturing. He's got to be better, the decision-making aspect of it. He just didn't see. That's diagnosing pre-snap, recognizing pre-snap what's going on, going through your reads. He looked down the guy running the deep post. The safety comes over, picks him off. All right, so let's go to this next one, 9:54 mark. Now, Virginia's back on offense. This is after the interception. So this is an opportunity where Georgia Tech could have gone up 23 to 14. Sorry, Ralph and I are checking something. This is our first time kind of doing the film thing, so we're trying to get this worked out. So Brennan Armstrong takes it down. Now let's watch this right here. We're going to watch it through, and then we're going to come back. Armstrong goes through his reads. One-on-one, their athlete versus Georgia Tech's completely gets beat. Now, Ralph, go back to it. I want to show this again real quick. And I see you guys' questions right there. We're going to get to those here just in a second. So all this is, in my opinion, what Georgia Tech could do more offensively to get Sims into a rhythm game. A quick hitter. All this is a hitch route. That's all this is. So watch this right here. Quick throw. Armstrong knows he's going there because he sees the guy playing way off of him. They don't even have the zone covered. Now, Ralph, if you'll go slow as possible right here. Makes the catch. Just hit the space button. It's okay. You just hit the space button, and I'll tell you when to stop. So here we go. Boom, right here. Now, you guys remember when the Minnesota Vikings had the walk-off touchdown? This reminds me of that type of play. The man coming down is way too aggressive. Head down, he's going for the big hit. Now, what in you sit here and you say, Bryce, well, he did, he's doing the best he can in that situation. We're trying to get a number on exactly. Ralph, was that number 8? Couldn't have been number 18. I think it was number 16. It was 18. So this is Derek Allen. This is a redshirt sophomore in this situation. Gets completely beat, and after that, it's just to the house. There's nothing able to do with that. So bringing off that one, we're going to come into another one. I'm going to get to some of your comments right here. The offense is playing well, says Randall, except for a few bad plays. The defense has been torched the last 3 weeks. I'm more concerned about the defense. Randall, I echo that. Scott, who do you guys think the scapegoat will be? I'm going to talk about that in a little bit later on in the show. They keep talking about how good our DBs are. If that's the case, why does Swilling get beat so much and guys aren't half aware of the time? Listen, I think it's a real issue. I'm going to tell you from an unnamed source kind of what is the feeling in the locker room about this. I think that's something where there might be some guys that have the guys that are healthy and guys that have talent that should be allowed to play in this aspect. Let's go back now. Ralph's going to bring us back in here to another clip. Now, this is going to be Brennan Armstrong back on the offensive side of the football. So let's play this one here. I just want you guys to watch how this lays out. Now, pause it real quick. See how wide Virginia's splits are? When you do that and you run a 3-3-5, it's going to spread your defensive line out even further. So if this was a quarterback draw, center's got his guy, guard and tackle are going to combo up to a linebacker. This number 85, if he stays in to block, he's going to take that outside guy right there. 69, the right tackle, right guard are going to be able to do that. Now you almost have one offensive lineman free if everyone does their job. Ralph, play this for me. All right, so we're seeing him right here. Now listen, they didn't do the job. Poor left guard had his head completely down. Up from the middle, I think that's Ace Ely or Charlie Thomas. But look at this right here. Jared Ivey on the right side, number 65, completely abuses man. This is part of the good of what I saw defensively. Right there, Ralph's got it circled right there. And hit play again, Ralph. Hit that space bar again. Ivey does a good job of doing that coming off the left side. I'm sorry, that was Jared Ivey. But the defense as a whole did a great job on that one. That was a good play right there. Ralph's going to bring in, I think it's, one more clip, Ralph? 2 more clips, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. This one's at the 20 minute 45 second clip. If you are looking, if you're looking at the condensed game over on YouTube, which watched the game, then I went back and rewatched it. Let's look at this one right here. Okay, now this is huge for me. Let's go ahead and take a second. Third quarter, 8 seconds left. 519 total yards for Virginia, 382 for Georgia Tech. This was on the verge of a blowout. If Georgia Tech doesn't come back late in the game, Jude Kelly, the kicker who had some amazing kicks, onside kicks. If that doesn't happen, this game's a lot more uglier than we think it is. So Ralph, hit play right here. Now, this is what I was talking earlier. The splits are still wide. They have two tight ends in. Nobody touches him until he hits the 4-yard line. There's Ed Sheeran right there. You got to love that. Ed Sheeran even brought up, we'll let the ad play real quick over on YouTube and come back to it. But nobody's even getting a hand. When a guy is getting to the second level without even getting a hand on a defender, that's when it's trouble for me. Come back in. So, Ralph, hit play again. Watch this again. Pause. Okay. Charlie Thomas is outside here on the tight end that's massive. Now, right below that, I'm sorry. On the ground, on the guy on the ground. Now, he tried to just dive at the legs to set the edge. Okay, so I guess you set the edge. Okay, didn't do a very good job. You got Brenneman back on the interior, back to the meat of your defensive line. Okay? Now, where's the guys who are supposed to be tackled? Offensive linemen are already 5 yards up, Ralph. We know that's trouble. That's what elite run teams can do. Virginia doesn't run the ball all that well. They do it through the air. So the ability to run the ball in this game was the big difference. We knew that they were going to throw the ball in Georgia Tech, but the ability to run. The only man that's free is about to be blocked. Ralph, hit it again. Watch right here. Nobody touches him until the 3-yard line. By that time, he's a big man. He's going to be taken into the end zone. We got one more clip from this game, and then I'm going to kind of give you a little summary synopsis of my thoughts on it and just where are we at right now? Where is Georgia Tech at? Because for me, this was a frustrating game. It was irritating. But let's get to this last clip right here. We got an ad again. They're not a sponsor, but you know who is a sponsor? Section 103. They just launched some Georgia Tech volleyball gear. If you follow me over on Instagram at Bryce_Coon or Bryce.Coon, I think it is, you saw that I posted the video from Georgia Tech's volleyball that we called Clean Old Fashioned Hate. The dogs fell to the Jackets. It was a great, great atmosphere inside O'Keefe. But let's go right here. So it's 41-27 at this time, okay? Hit play on this, Ralph. I just want you to watch this. Now come back. I'm going to go back to the comment where, who was it? Somebody said that Trey Swilling, this is the prime example of getting caught looking in the backfield. Now, I said earlier, Wanye Thomas, I said that he should have not looked in the backfield. Hit this play button again, Ralph. Trey Swilling has DeSouza's head. By that time, the receivers passed him. That's easy pitch and catch. Now, give Armstrong, I think I said Brenneman. It's Brennan Armstrong is his name. I was thinking Marty Brenneman. That's not good, the former Reds announcer, or Cole Brennan. But Armstrong, in this sense, he's a good quarterback. He has still had to put the ball there, but it's absolutely, it's just crazy. Watch this once again. Armstrong delivers it, not a ton of pressure. Swilling, because he was beat, is about 1.5 yards. Now, that's a close window that he's behind. But you can't allow that to happen. You just cannot allow that to happen. So that's kind of some of the clips. We're going to start doing that every single week. Hopefully the clips get better. There was some good in this game, but I think that it's very frustrating. Now, let's get some of the takes from you guys right here. I got right here some comments over on Twitter. Make sure if you're watching on Twitter, which we do, I want you to turn around and, sorry, we had a little mix up there. I want you to be able to comment. That's what I'm trying to say. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Let's get this right here. So Frosted Orange, we appreciate you watching tonight, man. The more frustrating than them is starting to 3-5 is the lack of adjustment during the game when it isn't working. Matt Brook, Thacker had his tail tucked during the presser day. Coach was chippy and happy, so Thacker. That's who he's thinking. Back to the comment. If we do make a change at DC, who would you guys want to bring in? Matt Brook, anybody from Kent State. Randall Sanders, running the 3-5 takes monsters to the defense line. We don't have that. Biggers, which Ralph is a big fan of Zeke Biggers, is one of the guys we need, but we need 2 to 3 more guys like that. David, we should have nailed that quarterback. I'm guessing you were talking, David, about the last play. Or the quarterback run, whichever one. They should have got the hit on him. But I want to go back to this. Who or what's going on? It's not working, and it's back to what Randall says. He brings up a great point here. It takes some absolute dogs. That's nothing against Jamin Brooks and these other guys. They just still don't have the personnel. They've got to be able to recruit that to run the defense. But what gets me is the same thing that Frosted here is saying. And Matt, yes, you are right. Kent State has good coaching. More frustrating is the lack of adjustments. It's almost like we're going to live and die by this until it works. But it worked in the North Carolina game, but you're not getting any pressure. And teams that don't necessarily run the ball very effectively in general, not that they're not bad at it, but that don't really do it well, are running the ball all over you. Let's get some stats here. Armstrong finished 29 of 43, 396 through the air, 4 touchdowns. He was good. He's good, and he's a good quarterback. And I saw some people on some message boards saying Virginia's not even that good. I mean, I know they're 6-2. They're going to go to a bowl game. They've got a tough schedule. I think they got Boston College, Clemson, Virginia Tech left, and North Carolina State. So they very well could finish like 7-5 or 8-4, but that's a quality team. Virginia finished with 636 yards total. Tech 570. Gibbs had 13 carries, 132 yards with a touchdown. Sims and Ralph and I just got to talk about this. For as rough as the defense played, the offense kept them in this ball game. They did a really good job.
At BYU, Notre Dame, at Pitt, and Virginia Tech in the season.
So I got all those wrong.
The Virginia schedule.
Virginia's schedule is at BYU, Notre Dame at home, at Pitt, home against Virginia Tech. So they very well could go 6-6. They very well. Now they could also go 7-5, 8-4. Who knows? They might not win a game, but they're still a solid football team. To get 6 wins, you have to be a solid football team.
2 losses to UNC
and Wake Forest. Wake Forest could possibly go to the ACC title game. We'll see. And the national championship, according to Ralph. 12 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns from Armstrong. Sims was 27 of 44, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. Even though he had the one bad thing, we'll say, the bad interception. Ralph and I were watching some of the game, and I felt like he trusted the backs more on a couple checkdowns. That was something that you wanted to see. You're going to have to use that. With Devaney out for the rest of the year, it's nothing against Coco or Leonard, but I'm thinking that you got to use the backs of the backfield. I felt like I saw that in this game, but the defense has got to take a step up. Scott right here, if we do make a change at DC, who would you want to bring in? I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I do not think that Andrew Thacker is going to get the heave-ho after this season. I don't think so. Now, I could be wrong. Mark it here on October 26, 2021. But, and Ralph puts down there, appreciate the comments, Ralph. But if you really look at this, it's going to be a scapegoat. It's going to be someone. Could it be one of the, other coaches? Could it be a linebackers coach? I don't know. I'm not want to speculate about people's jobs. That's their livelihood. But someone is going to get the axe at the end of this season, and it's going to be on the defensive side of the football. Matt Brook was saying this yesterday. He said he was telling his buddy yesterday, if the D stopped 3 drives this game, we win. If the defense stopped one time, you would have won. Yeah, you would have stopped 3 times, won. This is for the fire Geoff Collins, not John Collins crowd. Geoff needs 5 years. Geoff needs more than 5 years. I'm going to give him 6 or 7. If he hasn't produced a bowl game win in 6 years, then yeah, I think that's time. It's time to move on. Georgia Tech feasibly needs to get to 5 wins for me to feel comfortable. That's improvement, whether you like it or not. We can talk about that a little bit later. But the biggest thing for me going forward is you have to show improvement. There needs to be a little sense of hunger defensively from some of these players. I think they all have great character. We've had the chance to talk with some of them, whether it's ACC kickoff, whether it's in the media, whether it's during the press conferences. But somebody has got to step up. Because where are certain players? Where are some of the players? Kenyatta Watson, he's healthy. Former top recruit headed to Texas comes in. What's going on with that? Why is he not playing? Very interesting that the loyalty, which is a good thing, it keeps guys happy. But man, it's almost like driving your head through a nail when you continue to run the 3-3-5 and you don't have the personnel to do it. Now, we didn't just do this just to kind of rail on Georgia Tech. I think there were some positives. I think you have very, very good players. Jared Ivey being one of them. But what is he? He's a younger guy. Zeke Biggers. I'm telling you, the defense is going to get better. They've got guys in the system that are going to make it better. But when you're not even touching guys until they get to the second level, you're not going to have success. You're just straight up not going to have success. I think Jeff Popovich is going to be one of those that it would be interesting to talk to. What does he do? The DB's coach? Because that level's got to come up. Because what do we talk about? All offseason long, guys, the story from the secondary was, we're going to be better. We got to be better. We got to flush the tape, be better. Okay. You have two safeties that are massive, big guys that play well. Okay. Trey Swilling, you saw, this is not the same Trey Swilling that got in the punching match with George Pickens a couple years ago in Atlanta. That we thought and I know he's a legacy there. I get all these things. But if competition is truly king, like Georgia Tech says it is, then you've got to have open competition. Now, listen, we're not in the practices. We only get limited time. I don't know everything. Maybe it really is, but it's very interesting to see that as well. Let's see right here. We got a couple comments. Frosted, appreciate you watching, man. Frosted, I think you got the Georgia Tech gear on in your YouTube profile picture at a Braves game. So that is double fandom right there. We love it. I've heard that Collins does have his hands in running the defense. I guess any coaching changes will be an assistant, but I guess Thack and CDP are safe. Frosted, that's really my thought process right there. Let's go Randall here. It's time for the young guys to play in the secondary. I think trying to get guys drafted and not make the season guys upset. I say scrap the ATL chart and put the best 11 on both sides of the football. Scott right here, we still got to think a lot of these D players are still recruited by PJ. Scott, that's the big thing. That's another big thing. It's still a lot of Paul Johnson's players. And that's not to say, listen, Wanye Thomas is one of the nicest guys you'll meet. His younger brother is going to be a stud, probably better than Wanye. Wanye said that. They got to find a way to bring him in. I'm going to give you a quick tidbit on that. Talking with Jaron Willis, I want to talk about that as well real quick before we end the show. But listen, the unit has to be better. It's got to be better. As a team, they've got to be better. You have to take a little pride defensively because when you look at the rest of Georgia Tech's schedule, okay, now I want to look at this. We talked last week, and Ralph, what did I say last week? If they came out of this bye week and won and got some momentum, okay. You lost an 8-point game at Virginia. Really, there's no harm in that, but you could have won that game. You take on Virginia Tech, noon kickoff in Atlanta. There's that. You go to Miami. That's the most winnable game on the schedule left at Miami. But you're sitting right now with a record, that's you don't love it. You're 3-4. You got to find a way to get 3 wins out of Virginia Tech, Miami, Boston College, Notre Dame, and Georgia. Guys, that's hard. I think 5-7 right now might be your best case scenario with a potential upset you'd have to play, but there's going to have some change. The ATL chart, I think it's one of those things when it's working, people love it. When it's not working, people don't love it. But I'll say this, and I don't know, feel free to call me out on it. If competition is truly king, then at some point, either the guys behind them are worse than what's on the field right now, or they're not really truly being given the opportunity. We'll have to see how that lays out. Before we wrap it up here, we appreciate any and Scott, this is perfect. If we have any questions, we're going to throw them right here. About 2 more minutes. Throw your questions down there in the chat for us. Any inside info on any of the big-time recruits leaning Tech's way? Also, any rumblings if any recruits are wavering on their commitments? It's very interesting to me. Talked with Jaron Willis this past weekend. Obviously, a lot of the commotion around Azare Thomas has been very, very interesting to see. But my latest I can give you on that is everywhere Azare goes is great. Was at Oklahoma recently. But the connection to Georgia Tech with family, with his mom, his brothers, he always comes back feeling he'd love to be at home. I think that Georgia Tech's firmly in the mix, if not the leader for him. The big schools are going to continue to pry. A team like Oklahoma is going to throw the kitchen sink at a guy like Azare Thomas to try to get him to come. I'll tell you right now, if Georgia Tech didn't have the legacy with Azare Thomas, I don't think they'd be in the running, truthfully. They've got both of his brothers now. His mom has talked about how big it would be there. So I think right now they're in a good position to go get Azare Thomas. If they need it, that would be huge, huge to get. A couple other ones. Did an article that'll be coming out tomorrow over on our 24/7 sports site. And there was a little bit of, in some of the Twitter groups I'm in with Georgia Tech fans, there was a little bit of concern because Georgia Tech started offering some big-time guys or some other guys in preps that Azare didn't come. Listen, that's normal. But I think right now Georgia Tech has to take whatever's available. They've got to bring so many people in that is going to create true competition and create the best case scenario. Christian Harrison's a guy you need to keep your eye on. 3-star defensive back out of Woodward Academy. He's from Atlanta. He decommitted from Liberty. after picking up offers from Georgia Tech, Tennessee, and Kansas State. He will be in Auburn this weekend. So that's a big one to keep an eye on. Auburn, obviously, anytime you bring in an SEC brand, that's going to attract a kid. Tennessee as well. We saw what they've been building over the past couple weeks. If Tennessee starts to get some players in there, they're going to be really good. I think they made the right hire in Josh Heupel. Benjamin London, here's a question for you. Make sure to throw your questions down as we near end this show. Do you think the trust level between Todd and Geoff has decreased after the season if they don't win another game? If they don't win another game and they go 3-9 again, yeah, that's tough. I don't want to say the trust level. I think he's still going to be given 4 years at the minimum, but 3-9 is very disappointing. Very disappointing. If you finish 3-9, you don't win another game. Going back to Scott right here, we got to go after the high-profile kids. And Scott, you know where that starts? It starts in the state of Georgia. Now, I know the boys over in Athens, they locked down the state, and they've been on a recruiting spree over the past week and a half. They even lost a guy, but they've managed to lock it down. But Georgia Tech has to get from a point where they're excited. Fans are excited about fans are no longer excited just about being in someone's top 8. You want to be in top 4. You want to be in top 3. You want a kid to come on campus and just say, holy cow, this is what we need to be. I think they're building that way, but guys, remember, it's a long process, but they're going to have to show some type of improvement. Listen, I appreciate it as always. We're cutting the show a little bit earlier tonight just because the Atlanta Braves are playing tonight. Make sure, if you are a Braves fan, that it's going to be very interesting to watch this series. Cannot believe last Saturday happened. It was fantastic. Matt right there, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Tech is broke. Geoff will be here 7 years. We can't afford another coach. And it's one of those things too. You're going to buy him out. Who are you going to go after? Georgia Tech right now is, if Geoff Collins leaves, you're not leaving Georgia Tech in a prime condition. You essentially have 2 recruiting classes of 2 different coaches. You'll be Florida State. That's what you'll be. You'll be Florida State if you do that. Scott right there, our fan base sucks. Yes, winning does help, but support your team regardless. Fan base needs to come out. They need to be there this weekend. Speaking of being there on a weekend, Georgia Tech. Clean old-fashioned hate. I know it's a big one. It's going to be a massive opportunity for Georgia Tech to show they can compete once again with some of the big boys in college football. I want to be there, so make sure to DM me. We're going to try to work out something where we can head over to Tailgate. We can talk. We can have a lot of fun, experience a Georgia Tech game day in its fullest for the last part of the season. Would love to do that. Make sure to DM me. I'm open on Twitter, and shoot over where you tailgate because we're going to try to put that together and roll with it. Absolutely roll with it. We appreciate you always being part of the Swarm Talk fan. How can you join? How can you be involved? Well, first off, you got to hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. Hit the notifications button. Ralph's staring at me as well because he's hungry. We're both hungry. But you hit the subscribe button. Make sure to set those notifications. We go live every Tuesday. Now, this week, we're going to be having a tailgate in the varsity parking lot. Let's go. Ralph might come up with that one. Scott, don't say that. Don't even throw Scott's comment. We're not saying that. It might happen, but we're not going to say it. And Ralph's laughing over there. Well, I lost my train of thought there for a second. What was I talking about? I can't remember. But no, anyways, hit the subscribe button. Make sure to let us know the notifications. Anyways, I know what I was talking about. This upcoming Thursday, Friday, we're going to have him come in an interview with someone who is inside the Georgia Tech football program. He's going to be talking about this weekend, the season, and kind of the temperature of what's going on, and it'll be a ton of fun. So how can you know about that? It's going to be pre-recorded. I'm going to be releasing it. We're going to be putting it out on the Facebook groups, putting it out on social media. But the best way, the instant way that you can know is to subscribe here to the Crowded Booth. Make sure to know, set up your notifications so you know when it's live. Cannot wait to talk to you guys again next time. We'll see you once again if you check out for the live show, and make sure to keep the chop on. Go Atlanta.